What would you do if you could be invisible? Would you walk around naked all the time? I did that for a while. It's all right. A little chilly, though. Would you stalk your celebrity crush? Maybe get your own private celebrity sex tape? I mean, don't lie. Totally would. I did. Would you steal? Would you kill? Would you travel the world, see everything? How much depraved shit can you think of? Or would you use your power for good instead of evil? Liar. I was born with the gift of invisibility, or I guess you could call it a curse, depending on how you look at it. See, at first, I didn't realize my power. It bothered me for a long time. I'd be standing there with a group of friends talking about sports or music or whatever, and then suddenly, they wouldn't see me anymore. No matter what I did or said, they would just ignore me. Even my words didn't register, as if I were speaking into a void. My parents did it too. I'd be in the car with them, around the dinner table, having a conversation, when suddenly, it was like I didn't exist. My parents would talk back and forth about their day, and when I told them about something exciting that happened to me at school, they'd just ignore me. In class, I would put up my hand and the teacher's eyes would skip over me, only to ask someone else for the answer. Girls ignored me. Guys ignored me. Couldn't make friends no matter how hard I tried. My family moved to another city the year I started high school, and the problem became even worse. The friends I had made as a little kid were no longer around, and I was alone all the time. That was around when I realized what was happening. I was turning invisible. That wasn't happening all the time, but it was occurring more and more frequently as I got older. And as I became more shy and introverted, I was scared to get to know anyone, scared to talk to anyone. All I could think about was the fact that if I did make a new friend, they were going to start ignoring me at some point. And I would be alone again. So I just wandered the halls during lunch hour at school, feeling alone and invisible. I got through high school and college, blending in with the walls and getting more lonely by the day. I was terrified of forced socialization via any group projects that were presented to us. The idea of interacting with other human beings on a face-to-face level was becoming more and more scary to me. Part of me felt like I might become invisible and I might never be seen again, forced to wander the earth as a ghost for the rest of my days. Every time I disappeared, I was sure I would stay that way, and it was never voluntary. But every time I disappeared, I became visible again later on. The worst part was I couldn't tell when it was happening. I could always see myself no matter what. After college, I landed a job, which didn't require me to interact with anyone, except occasionally with coworkers and my boss. Most of my conversations happened through email, and even those were ignored half the time. Even as an adult, nobody talked to me in the office or invited me for drinks with the gang after work. Meetings proceeded without me, and people walked past my desk every morning without saying hello, as if I didn't exist. A while back, the thing I'd been fearing most finally happened. My boss called my cell phone in the middle of a workday. I missed the call since I had it on vibrate. I looked down to see the notification on my phone. I was about to go into his office to talk to him when he came out and began to yell loudly, "Where's Jordan? Has anybody seen him? Every time I need his help with something, he's nowhere to be found." He sounded angry. I stood up and I raised my hand. "I'm right here, Mr. Jacobson. What do you need my help with?" Nobody heard me. Another coworker, a man named Brett, who had always had it out for me, stood up and began to complain about my absence as well. "I'm not sure where he is, sir. Every time I look over at his desk, he's conspicuously absent. I was going to say something to you, but I don't like to complain about my coworkers. It's getting ridiculous, though." Mr. Jacobson shook his head, muttering under his breath, and marched back towards his office. "One more phone call. If he doesn't pick up this time, I'm firing his ass." I hurried after him, leaving my phone at my desk. "Sir, wait, please, I'm right here." He slammed the door in my face. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. I knocked and yelled, but he didn't answer. When I got back to my desk, there was another voicemail waiting for me. This one saying I was fired for my unexplained absences from work. There seemed no point in trying to stop it from happening. I just packed up my things silently and left. Nobody noticed. The periods of invisibility grew longer and longer until finally I came to realize that I could only be seen one day a year. For the rest of the year, all 364 days, I was a ghost. It was always the same day, and it was easy enough to remember. It's my birthday. It made sense. People noticed me on that day and remembered me, even if it was just for 24 hours. I'd get a call from my parents and a few Facebook messages, but that was about it. Still, it felt nice to exist again. I didn't have a job anymore, so I had to start getting creative with ways to make money. I still needed to pay my bills and buy groceries. It helped that nobody could see me. That made the next part easier. Those first few times hopping the counter at the bank were nerve-wracking. My heart was racing, and I was just waiting for someone to start yelling at me, threatening to call the cops. But after I'd done it about 10 times, it felt more or less like going to the grocery store. I'd just hop over the counter and grab a stack of bills from the teller drawer when they weren't paying attention. The second I touched the bills, it was like they didn't exist anymore, and the bank tellers didn't even notice them leaving the drawers. Part of me didn't mind stealing from banks, since they took money from customers all the time without apology. But I didn't want to steal from a mom-and-pop store or a grocery store. I wanted to be normal as much as possible. Besides, I was having fun with bank robberies in broad daylight. There was a thrill in making money from the bank, right in front of the teller's eyes. That feeling was a rush. Pretty soon, I was chasing that feeling all the time. Finding expensive merchandise to steal was easy, and stealing it was even easier. But you realize pretty quickly that possessions are hollow and meaningless. You can have anything that you want at a whim. I took cars from big dealerships, Porsches, Ferraris, BMWs, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, you name it. But driving wasn't a great idea in my condition. I got into a lot of car accidents. People never saw me coming. It's no fun driving a sports car if you can't drive it fast. Believe me. Somewhere along the line, I must have drawn attention to myself, because one night, as I was walking home, I saw someone standing on the sidewalk in front of my house, waiting for me. The man was wearing a black trench coat and a fedora. He had sunglasses on despite the darkness. I slowed my approach when I saw him, but felt drawn towards him like a magnet. "So, you're the one I've been hearing so much about," he said, seeing me despite my invisibility. "The one who's been causing so much trouble, drawing so much attention to us." "You can see me?" I said, surprised. "How can you see me?" "'Cause I'm just like you," he answered. "I'm a shadow." So are they. From all around me came shapes from the darkness. Some of them were people, but others were really just like shadows, barely tangible in the night. They grabbed hold of my arms and legs, tightening their grips on me as I screamed. It felt like I was being mugged by a pack of boa constrictors. "Shh, shh, shh," the man said, putting a finger on my lips, silencing my screams. "Nobody can hear you except for us." "Who are you?" I said nervously, my heart pounding, looking around at their faces. Some were featureless and without form. "The same as you. We're here to teach you how to be a better shadow, how to remain unseen. You've been too blatant in your movements. People are starting to notice you. The tellers of the bank are finding cash missing at the end of the day, and the grocery store owner is wondering why nobody notices the mysterious customer who leaves a pile of cash after shopping, like a ghost is visiting the store." "What do you want me to do?" I asked. "I can't work. I need to get food somewhere." "No, you don't. You're a shadow, remember? Shadows don't eat. They don't drive BMWs, and they don't visit the bank. You're not being a very good shadow. That's why we're here to teach you." They began to press in tighter around me, and I felt myself being compressed like a lump of coal, being turned into a diamond. I was shrinking into the ground, becoming flattened, and at the same time losing some essential essence of myself. I felt like my personality was being compressed, like my soul was being photocopied into a lower resolution version of itself, becoming a sliver. And then, even less than that. Never in my life had I felt so afraid, so unsure. And finally, all I could see were the figures looming over me, towering high above me from my insectile vantage point. I was nothing more than a shadow on the sidewalk to them, and to everyone else as well. There. That's better. Now you're a proper shadow. The group of them disappeared, and I found myself alone, terrified. Being a shadow has not been anywhere near as nice as being invisible. I got into all sorts of trouble when I was invisible, let me tell you. I had a lot of fun. I got into a lot of depraved mischief. In retrospect, I'm not that surprised that I got caught. I'm more shocked at how it happened, and the consequences of my actions were very unexpected. It's a pretty terrible punishment being made into a shadow, especially since shadows never die. They don't have a lifespan or anything like a normal person, or even like an invisible person. Still, once a year on my birthday, I become tangible again. I get to see my family, I get to breathe the fresh air and eat food and drink wine, and I get to be a person again. Today. And only today. I find myself taking more advantage of life than I used to. I go to see my parents on my birthday these days. I visit my old friends, I go to the park. I say hello to perfect strangers as I walk around in sunshine. Only real people can enjoy the sunshine. Shadows never get to feel it. Tomorrow I'll be a shadow again. And it's a very cold life. But for now I'll enjoy the warmth of the sun. Even if it's only for a little while. Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and as always, I want to tell you thank you so much for watching tonight's video. We're entering into the summer, which means for me, I have horrible allergies, and that means for you, you might not, but hey, I'm going to tell you about this anyway. My wife has a tea shop. It's called etsy.com/shop/ivory-monocle-tea. If you go down into the description, you'll find a link over to it, and hey, there's actually a whole bunch of new teas there available to help you with things like allergies. They've been a hell of a help for me. And if you've been watching me record live on Twitch, then you'll see that I'm not sniffling, at least not as much. And as always, I want to give a very big thank you to everybody who is on my Patreon. That means everybody. Everyone who is from the $1 tier all the way up to the, God, why do you pledge that much tier? But I especially want to give a big thank you to Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Stephanie Butler, Bobby Karman, Tristain Pelton, Chance Burnett, Diana Kraus, Kyle Reznak, Happy Birthday Ollie Whale, David Martin, scare-ington, the unkempt, Angelus, Spanky, Snootchie bootchies, Autistic Spidey, phruty, Seclude, Lupita Galvan, That Creepy Chick, Tyler Fletcher, Rebecca Harper, Merxinum, Red Shadow Cat, Xavier the Cheyenne, Demyx, Sean Cadieu-baker, 6 Gay Rats in a Trenchcoat, Turtleman, Rob Likes Sharp Things, Chaos Arts, Cryolinium, Zachary Gruffius, Lord Life's Best, Goreng Trimagacy, Maria Walker, Pain Gravy, Crazy Kid, Mr. Marcus Blitz, Aka Limchok, Dirt Diver 030, Matt Bach, Naughty Devil, Voice of Sands, Coffee Zombie, Matthew McNeese, Shelly J, Jeremy H, Reltazol, Ficomel, Nana, Deleted Account, Melted Lake, Tali Sue, William King, Darth Miver, Michael Ortiz, Satanic Aries, Nessie, Bardo Hawk 764, Lambda M98, Harley, Sashi Suzaku, Croconut 509, Kaylee Ambrose, Suji Campbell, Stricken, Freddy Krueger, Nicholas Zicardi, Happy Birthday Jason Wilson, Lisa Cottrell, Caspian, Hades' Nephew, Tater Chip, Acid System, Prozac and Pancake Appreciation Society, Benjamin Welvart, Kiri the Sloth, Fester's Lampshade, Sky Harbor, Nico Kyle, Rafael Rodriguez, The Ginger Bros, Aaron Stormcrow, Daniel Polson, and Corey Kenshin. As always, you guys are the MVPs. Everybody who's on that list, everybody who's on that Patreon, everybody who's in the description, thank you so much. And if you'd like to join this list of names that I horribly mispronounce, head over to patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta. And as always, everyone, sweet dreams.